heartbeat of a summer's day. Dreamers with laughter that won't fade away. We built our lives with hope in our hands. Friends, lovers, souls with unbroken plans. Our voices rang out like a song in the air, bound by the love we were destined to share. But a darkness crept in with a cold, bitter sting, tried to silence the joy that our spirits would sing. Its empty shadow could never define the light we carry, the lives that were mine. We are more than the sorrow, more than the fight, more than the darkness that stole us from sight. Not just a memory lost to the pain. We're the fire that burns, will always remain. Oh, for those left behind, hold our light in your heart. We're the love that lives on, never torn apart. We chased our dreams under wide open skies, with courage that sparkled in bright, fearless eyes. Our homes were alive with the stories we told, warmth in our smiles, our future so bold. They thought they could end us, but they'll never see. Our spirits are endless, forever set free. That evil was nothing, a thief in the night, but we're the dawn that still carries the light. Not victims, not shadows, not bound by their lies. We're the hope that still shines in your tear-filled eyes. We are more than the sorrow, more than the fight, more than the darkness that stole us from sight. Not just a memory lost to the pain. We're the fire that burns, will always remain. Oh, for those left behind, hold our light in your heart. We're the love that lives on, never torn apart. No silent screams, no empty goodbyes. We're the warmth in your soul, the stars in your skies. Not a moment of evil, not a mark of despair. We're the dreams that you carry, the love in the air.
Hello, Miss Dolphin.
Hey, I didn't realize I was back on. Yeah. Hey, how are you doing? I was just moving chat over so I could see.
Oh, I know it. Sometimes it gets really hard for me to watch chat and do this. And hell, I don't ever have but 10 people in here. I don't know how people do it with stuff behind them.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
the reason that I asked you this is I sent you this video, right?
hmm
And have you seen it?
No, you know what? I told you yes because I just saw that it was Dr. G, and because I was like, oh, we just watched a video by Dr. G, but it was actually the analysis of the whiteboard in Brian's office at WSU.
Uh,
This one's about the body cam, right? I have not seen
this
that
is
one.
about the body cam, and
Yes.
it is so good.
I'm super interested to see the body cam
So I
analysis.
know, I know that like, I mean, I don't know how he is, but I know like to stop, conversate, stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And plus, you know me, I'm out in the car, I'm on a phone, so I don't have that ability to share YouTube.
Mhm.
But I watched
Well, I
it.
can
Look,
now that you've got me up here.
I have watched 5 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first 5 minutes, I was like, he debunks so much. He even explains um, Hunter standing there with his hands above his head.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So whenever you're ready, I'm ready, and I'm going to mute until you pause.
Okay, you
Hey,
need me
thank
to
you for
share this
everybody
then.
coming in, and welcome, Kelly.
Oh, let's see. Let me go
But
back
I
to,
think everybody's really going to enjoy this.
okay. Let me go back to Discord then and find the
Okay.
link. Let's see. There's that.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. I actually wrote that. Hey, Mark.
Oh,
Mark,
that's
did you
not
change your
bad.
thing, or is that a different Mark?
Okay, there's that. Let me move chat over to my other monitor really quick. There's that. And sorry, I forgot that you were gonna need me to
Oh,
do
no problem.
this.
No problem. You're
Okay.
doing me a favor. Don't apologize.
Oh no, let's see. And then share my screen. Which
Yep.
one? Dr. G, Dr. G. I've got so many YouTube screens open because Firefly and I
Yep.
were
That's it. That's it.
looking. Okay, so you can see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll go
Yeah.
full
Y'all,
screen.
please let me know about the sound because y'all are really want to hear what he has to say.
Okay, and let
And
me
I'm going to
check.
mute myself. So thank y'all for everybody being here.
Okay. Alrighty, it's on 1080p, so hopefully this will be pretty clear. And it's only 21 minutes, so that's not bad. You're gonna, you want me to pause every now and then and all that? Just let me know, okay?
Well, I mean, do you know anything about him? Or, I mean,
Him?
I
Oh,
would
I
like
watch
to
him
watch
all the
it.
time. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to watch him straight through, but I didn't know
Okay.
if he strikes people.
I don't think so.
Now,
I mean, he's got.
okay, how about this? How about this? If you
Mhm.
find something interesting, you pause.
Okay. Okay. Or
Okay?
just give me a shout out. Somebody in chat, give me a shout out. Hey,
Yeah,
Mark.
if y'all, if anybody wants to talk about a certain part, we'll pause. But if nobody raises their hand, then we'll keep playing. But Dolphin, I trust you to know that, hey, that was pretty interesting. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and this is because, I guess for fair use and all that, you do have to kind of,
Yes, this is for fair
say
use for
it's.
educational purposes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was gonna say what his channel was, but I guess you can link that.
I'll put it.
So,
I'll put a link.
okay, here we go.
I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be doing a forensic analysis of the police body cam footage the day after Brian Koberger murdered 4 Idaho college students. Before we get started, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. Now, this is a long video, so I'm just going to be playing the most important segments. But this is the day after the Idaho student murders. This police officer does not know that he is preparing to walk into a murder scene.
Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
You can already hear their voices wavering, and this means there's adrenaline pumping through their system. This means that they are anxious. Now, it doesn't seem that they fully understand what's going on. From my understanding, the police believed that someone was passed out at this point, so that's what he's responding to. As you can see right here, I want to show you what this student is doing when he gets in a little bit further.
Where at? Up here?
Up here, up here. You got
Something you may already be noticing, and I want you to look out for, is how tight everything in this house is. The stairway is small, everything is very windy, which would have added to the chaotic nature of what was going on.
I just came in checking in and you came by this one. And I checked to see if she was breathing, but she's... And I didn't check him yet, but I'm pretty sure...
13. Okay, get back.
So as you can hear in the officer's voice, even just briefly, everything changed right there. You hear the tension in his voice almost immediately. Once adrenaline starts pumping, once the body starts tightening up, you are in protection mode because this is not what he anticipated. And that's a big part of what we're going to be talking about today is the expectations were defied. Nobody was going to expect what happened. Nobody is going to expect what they saw. So it's going to be very hard for people's brains to recognize and reconcile with what was actually going on and what actually happened. When they talk to one of the roommates later about what they recall, we're going to get much more into that. But now I'm going to jump back. Let's listen to this police officer for a second.
Okay, get back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. Really just grab them. They're like
1370.
And you could hear the student was speaking and the officer didn't even respond. He is now laser focused on what's happened. I'm just going to skip ahead because he's exploring the room and everything's redacted as it should be. Now, I mentioned I was going to point out what this student was doing. You see this position right here? Hands over his head, elbows up. We do that when we're in a panicked mode because it forces us to breathe through our diaphragm. So if you try to do that and take a breath through your chest, you just can't do it. So it's not like you consciously think that you need to do this. Your body just automatically does it. But that's a way to try to force yourself to calm down a little bit. You oftentimes see people who have been in tragedies or who have been in some sort of catastrophe doing this exact thing. So this body stance does force you to breathe through your diaphragm. So we're going to be talking a lot about trauma in this video so you can better understand why these reactions are pretty much what you would expect.
Okay. Nobody's allowed to leave for now, okay? Just stay here for me, please.
So you can hear the wavering in his voice, which is completely understandable because, once again, the amount of adrenaline pumping through your veins does not allow you to have an even, steady voice, particularly because he wasn't expecting it. If someone said you were getting ready to walk into a crime scene that looks like this, and he did, it would be totally different. It would be activating in that sense, but it would probably feel very, very different. The unexpected nature of what happened is such a big piece of the intensity of the trauma that occurs in an experience like this.
Can you guys go over to the dumpster for me, please?
You notice how slow everybody's walking? It's almost like being in a daze. When you dissociate, part of trauma is dissociation. So in other words, you are taking a step out of reality a little bit. Sometimes time can get compressed, sometimes it can get elongated, but it affects your perception. And this happens with PTSD. It happens in short term if there's been a trauma. And all of these students are going through a trauma right now. They don't know what's happened. The unpredictable nature of what's going to happen next is also adding to that. So you have to understand, really making sense of trauma is understanding how unpredictability has completely thrown off their worldview. I do feel like watching this, seeing him put out the tape, this does ground us in the fact that this is very much real. This happened. This is not some abstract idea. This isn't a story. These were kids. These were real families that were affected by this tragedy. And it's just so, for me at least, it's very, very hard to watch this.
Okay, let's clear it. Thanks for...
And you look at the position of the student here, it's just absolute grief, just shutting down. You know, you put your head down, arms out, just essentially hiding from the world right then because it is so overwhelming, it's so overbearing. Once again, these are all things that we typically see when there are tragedies like this.
It's over here.
okay.
I'll just start down here.
And you can hear the voice of the officer whose body cam is on. You can hear his voice change. The adrenaline has settled down. He's trained for these kinds of things, but it was so unexpected. That's what caused that reaction.
Police department.
Police department.
So even as they're actively looking for somebody, this goes back into training mode. Immediately, I think that once the adrenaline settles down, once you know what you're dealing with, then it goes back to just following what you know how to do. And so all of the feelings probably get set aside right now. Now it's just into the mode of like, let me make sure that everybody's safe. Back into that sort of mindset.
Check with the prints.
One thing that's also striking is how normal everything looks. This looks like what a house looks like after there's been a party. For anybody that partied in college, this should all look pretty standard. And that's part of what I also want you to keep in mind, because once we're getting to the interview with the roommate, it's really going to sink in why they didn't call the police immediately, why there was so much confusion around this. Because, once again, I don't find anything strange or out of place about any of this. This is pretty much how you would expect that a crime scene like this would look. And it's also pretty much how you would expect that people would react in a crime scene like this. You see how everybody's huddled together. Typically, when you see people, if they're not in an emergency situation, they'll be more spread out. They'll be more casual. We do this type of solidarity. We do this for protection. I don't think they're actively worried about anything happening, but everybody knows it's a crisis. Everybody is traumatized right now. So you are seeing people huddle together because of that reason. Now, you'll notice that this one student does not have her shoes or gloves on or anything, and it's probably quite cold. Because you tend to numb out during this. You just can't think straight. This is part of dissociation. You just lose contact with your sensations. You lose contact with time. All of these kinds of things impact how we sense the world.
In the main room.
This is one of the...
Pretty much they were in the main room. I heard them dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone was in the room and she ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I interrupted for her and then I ran downstairs. But we don't know what's going on.
So you see her almost bracing herself with her pants right now as she's talking about this. You hear the pressure in her voice. She's probably making the connections with what she experienced the night before and what actually happened. It's probably all starting to feel a bit real. So there's a little bit of panic coming through as she's talking about this. You can hear how fast she's speaking. It's going to make an extremely intense emotional experience to try to piece all this stuff together.
Can you come here with me, please?
And you can hear the way that she's breathing. She's hyperventilating a little bit because the body takes in extra oxygen when we're starting to freak out a little bit so that we can protect ourselves, so that we can run, because the body runs on oxygen. So if you're over-oxygenated, you have more energy. So sometimes we hyperventilate when we're freaking out for that very reason. So there's a reason that she's breathing so hard.
Break Fire 3170. Could you guys grab some blankets for all these people out here?
Oh, okay.
You see how her hands are covered in front of herself, just trying to protect herself right now, emotionally, if nothing else, but just not knowing what's going on. That sense of confusion is going to make her feel like she needs to be protected.
Nope. Just come over here with me, please.
And I was trying to go to bed and I heard Kaylee, who, ex-girlfriend, who has a dog in her.
Real fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh,
What room are you in?
So when they're asking her about factual things like which one room is hers, she's going to be more animated. That gets back into the intellectual part of the brain. Much easier to respond right now than the emotional part of the brain. So as she talks about emotions, it may be more fragmented. It may be more confused. But when he's asking her something like, which room is yours? Those will be much easier for her to access.
You were in that room?
My room, not Xana's room. My room.
And your room is this one right here?
Next to the stairs. That one is Xana's room.
Second floor room.
Second floor.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs.
And you heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, her walking up, I heard her.
You can hear people crying louder in the background. The reality of this is starting to settle in a little bit more. The dissociation may be lifting a little bit, but it's going to go in and out because that's just the way that trauma works.
Scream, and she ran upstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you.
So if you're curious as to why you wouldn't call the police right away, I want you to think about if you went to college parties. If I went to UGA, I went to plenty. I'm very familiar with what the typical sort of response at college parties is. And if there was something crazy going on, if you were in your room, you might not think about it. There could be screaming and hollering and fighting. There's all sorts of things. You might come out and look, or you might not. The idea that they moved on after this may seem strange, but it truly isn't, because there's no part of any of their realities that would have thought my friends are going to get murdered tonight. That is just not how the human mind works when you're in a normal situation. Let's keep going. I've got more to say on that, but I want to get to some other parts first.
And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this mask that was just covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door, and I called, and I didn't know what to do.
You see how she's moving her hand as she talks about this? This is tapping deeply into how she feels about this. It's almost like she's reenacting it. Obviously, she's reenacting it in her mind. Physically, we tend to reenact things a little bit as well.
At 4
a.m., yes. Okay. And so then I just ran down to
You left here?
I left my room down to she's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom. I ran down there and we talked, and we just locked the door. We didn't think anything of.
You see her how she continues to talk with her hands. We do this when we really want to connect with somebody. She really wants the officer to know what she knows. She really wants to get her point across. So if you're wondering why she keeps opening up the blanket, keeps talking with her hands, that's a way that we communicate very effectively when we really want to be heard. So I can understand why she's doing that.
Of it, we're like, nothing happens in Moscow, so we just like try to go to bed, and then we woke up, and it was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up.
Nothing happens in Moscow. That's one of the most important things that she's had to say in terms of understanding the trauma here. This is not part of their reality. It's important to get this because when they see their friend laying on the ground, they were going to assume they're passed out drunk. When they hear people running around, they might just interpret it as people being crazy college students. The sounds they heard, the things they saw are not going to make sense to them in this context at this point, because that is just reality breaking for them. Because who would expect this, particularly a bunch of college students trying to have fun? This is no part of how they see the world.
It was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up, and so me and like, this is weird. So I called and come over, and then that's when all this happened.
Who all lives here?
And then there's Maddie, Mogan, and Kaylee up top. I don't know where they're at though.
Maddie,
Mogan.
So they don't even know where two of them are right now. They are not fully aware of the scope of this tragedy.
All right, describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me, and I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit, and he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like at all. I just shut the door and locked it because I didn't know what to do, and I think he went out like the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then
See, there are a lot of details that she saw, that she connected with, but she just didn't make the association with how dangerous the situation was.
I didn't know anything else, so I called, and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Dana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
You first noticed a guy.
Well, I first noticed Kaylee go upstairs and scream and run downstairs.
So 4 this morning, went upstairs.
Yeah.
To the way top.
Yes, to her room with Murphy the dog.
Okay.
And then
you heard Kaylee scream?
I heard her scream and run as fast as she could downstairs, and she said someone's here.
She ran downstairs?
Yes, I could hear it. You can hear everything. And I heard her run downstairs really fast. And I remember her sobbing, and I just remember hearing this guy's voice that I didn't recognize saying, "You're going to be okay, I'm going to help you." But it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice way. It was like a weird way.
So the weird tone she's talking about when somebody says, "I'm going to help you," when obviously that's not their intent, we can pick up on those kinds of things really well. The one thing that we're really good at doing is identifying when something doesn't seem authentic. Human beings are very, very good at that. So when he was trying to manipulate his victims, saying this, I suppose, to try to lull in some sort of false sense of security, it would have sounded weird. It would have sounded chilling. There would have been a very strange quality to it, I'm sure. And that's exactly what she's referencing right now.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice nice way. It was like a weird way, like a weird tone.
You're gonna be okay.
And you see how she's playing with her hands right now. Even recalling that tone is making her more and more uncomfortable, understandably.
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear anything from Kaylee anymore? At that
No,
point?
after that I didn't hear anything. So then I kept calling for her name. I called on my phone, I called Nena, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He looked at me, but he didn't come towards me or say anything, which was really confusing to me. I don't understand that. And I'm pretty sure he went out the side door. And then I called, and I didn't think anything about fire or firework.
Or
Until I
gunshot
told her.
or
I don't
anything?
think I heard anything of that, but I also was kind of in and out of it because I was so scared and I was really tired. And that's when I called and I told her, I need to come to your room because she was the only one that was answering me. So I just ran down there, and for a second I stopped and I saw Xana passed out, and I thought maybe she was just like sleeping or something. I didn't think anything because I was so out of it. And I went into the room and we just fell asleep. And then we woke up this morning and no one was waking up at all. Like no one was answering, which was really weird because all of us wake up around like 9 or 10. And then I called
And there she was talking about how weird it was. It would have been scary, and maybe there's a little part of her that would have started to feel a little bit of panic at that time, but it wouldn't have really crossed her mind, I don't think, until it all started coming together as to what actually happened. So even in those moments, even in those early morning moments, she's not going to have pieced everything together.
I don't really know what he looked like because he had a mask, but he wasn't like super tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10". I think it was maybe my height an inch or two higher or lower. I can't really remember.
So about 6 foot.
I think so. Around there.
How was he built? Fat, skinny, stocky?
More like skinny, but like basketball player kind of skinny. Like not too skinny, but like almost fit skinny in a way. That's what.
She's very detail oriented, and she's very good at this. Some people, when they go through this kind of trauma, cannot recall details, and that plays against them because people go, well, why can't you remember? You should remember this accurately. But because of the way that trauma works, sometimes memory can become very fragmented. So I give her a lot of credit for being able to recall the level of detail that she does. And some people are like that. Some people are better with details than others, but it really is fortunate that she was able to get through all this. I'm going to show one last bit. I'm just going to show a little bit of the police officer recounting what he was told by the roommate, because she did such an incredible job of describing what happened. Despite all of the trauma and confusion and everything else that had gone on, I think that she created a very compelling and important, and it sounds like very accurate narrative of what went on that night.
She saw a guy masked, about 6 foot, skinny built like a basketball player, she described. Said that he had a just full black mask, see like a ski mask. At about 4. Immediately after, she yelled and said there's someone in the house. This girl ran, locked herself in a room, could hear a roommate that was upstairs, Kaylee. Somehow she was able to discern that it was Kaylee screaming. Then she could hear this masked man saying...
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand some of what we saw in the body cam today. What I really want you to take away from this is the profound impact of trauma, and to understand everybody's going to experience trauma differently. What happened was wildly unexpected, as it would be for anybody. But these college students are not going to be able to process this easily. The most important thing they can do is to talk about it. When they feel sad about it, when things come up about it, when they feel scared about it, to talk to somebody, whether it's a professional, a friend, a family member, anybody who can listen, anybody who you trust. Being able to talk and process these emotions is the best way to take some of the feelings out of it, to make it a narrative, to make it something that has happened, but not something that controls your life. Because that can so often happen with trauma, is that your life becomes centered around this trauma. And until you've processed it all, you can't let go of it. And so you have to just keep on processing it. It's a long, laborious, frustrating task, but these are issues that can be resolved. If you have any thoughts about this, if there's any other evidence you want me to analyze, if there's anything else about this case you want me to take a look at, please let me know in the comments below. Last thing before we get finished up is I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, thanks for watching.
Alrighty, thank you, Dr. G. Let me like his video.
Wow.
Oh, okay, yep. 51,000 views,
Yeah.
681 comments. I'll add a comment
Wasn't
later.
that interesting, though?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, how I feel about it, and it actually made me understand it a whole lot more.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially when he went into detail about Hunter and the diaphragm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the first 5 minutes, as soon as he started talking about listen to the different tone of the police officer's voice and all that, I was like, the police officer's even in shock.
Right. Right.
And I
I'm
mean, it
sorry. I'm
does
just
no
looking at his
good
other
for all
stuff.
of us to say it, but to hear him say it, it was like, can somebody just share this all over YouTube? It should go viral.
Yeah, I haven't been paying too much attention to much of anything on YouTube like this week so far, so I don't know who all's
Honey,
shown
I
it.
am so far behind. Oh my God, I'm so far behind. Between the two blowouts and the Texas trip and the sleeping in the car, I mean, this is going to be like one of the shortest lives ever. But I knew that you
Mm-hmm.
liked Dr. G, and when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if she's seen it."
Yeah, not
Because
that
I
one.
didn't, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think you had because you hadn't mentioned it.
Right, right.
But
Um,
yeah, tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, I know one of the body language experts did the 911 call. I'm not. I'll have to go through everything and see. I don't know if it was him or not,
Let me
but
see.
I know one of them did it. But boy, he nailed sentencing and I mean the plea and the sentencing.
Mm-hmm. He sure did.
I mean, oh yeah.
I don't remember who might have.
Surely,
I'm looking for
I
it,
know
but
I watched one of them because they were talking about the. You know how people were saying that they were heavy breathing in the stairs?
yeah, that wasn't on the stairs. That's when they were waiting in the living room for
Well,
Hunter to tell them what was
okay,
going on. Mm-hmm.
but come to find out, the experts said that was not from fear and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
that it was 28 degrees and that it was them freezing.
They were inside the house.
Yeah, but the back door was open.
Yeah, back door and front door. But yeah,
Right.
and I mean they had been
But
outside. But mm-hmm.
yeah, but he said that was more like chilled, more like like breathing trying to warm yourself up.
Mm-hmm. You know, another thing that a lot of people don't mention is at that point in the 911 call, when you hear that, Bethany asked Dylan, "Do you know where Kaylee is?" And Dylan said, "No,
Yes.
I don't." And a lot of
Right.
people thought that she
I
said, "Poor
know.
Kaylee," or whatever. So,
I
yeah,
you
but
know,
that's
I
when they were
wonder, do
standing
they
there waiting.
really
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point now, Dolphin. Do they really think these things are being said, or are they just making it up that it's said?
I don't know. You're talking about the
I mean,
people that won't let this go and won't accept that
yeah,
this
yeah,
man, is guilty because he definitely said, he did it,
right,
four
right.
times and one for the burglary, yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you think about that. That was from his diaphragm, okay?
mm-hmm.
He
Yeah, he
did not,
was
he
pretty
did not, yeah, he
emphatic.
did not say guilty. He said guilty. You
Yeah,
know,
kind of like loud and
he,
proud,
he
right?
didn't do it mousy.
No, definitely not. PKC says the only ones I know is Dr. G and Dr. Grande. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have watched a lot of Dr. Grande, but I don't remember what if he did anything specific. Because I watched him and then also the behavior panel. But and then those four guys, I think they all have individual channels. Like I've seen Scott
Right,
Rouse
right.
on different people's shows. Um,
And I mean, I know I mean, like I said, it's like every week here comes a novel. I mean, and then the ones that got released today and everything, which luckily they weren't a novel. I mean, but I mean, you wouldn't believe the questions the AFRID It's like,
Oh, I
what is
saw
that?
that. Yeah,
Uh,
ARFID. It's oh, I have it
yeah,
up still.
avoidance food restriction intake disorder,
Right, right. Mhm.
and that goes right along with that O word.
Mhm.
I can never remember that O word.
He knew the layout of the house, which to me would indicate he had been there. Yeah, I think so too. That he had been in the house before. There are stories where they said, like, I don't know, a few weeks before the murders, the girls came home and the front door was wide
Yeah.
open.
Oh,
And
I
there,
think he was playing
mhm.
with them.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, I really do. I think he was playing with them.
Just like I
Now,
think he was doing the same thing on WSU's campus with some of the people from WSU who
yep,
knew him
yep,
in those interviews.
yep,
The doorknob jiggled, and somebody
yep.
said somebody was standing outside of one girl's window, and
Yeah, with this,
yeah.
with what? The shoe prints going the
Mhm.
same direction, in and
Mhm.
out. Those shoe prints at 1122, in
Mhm.
and out, same direction.
And you remember Ava, one of their friends
Yep,
that was out there that lived across the street. Remember, she said, like, what, the week before, her doorknob jiggled, and she,
yep.
was
And
asking
then
friends in the area if it was one of them, and yeah. Hmm.
I saw where somebody, look, this is something I admit I had not noticed, the bug guard.
Wait, notice what?
The bug guard on the car.
Oh, yeah, the bra. I don't know. Everybody's been talking about that. I'm not really sure what the significance of that is. What's the
Well, I
point
mean, he
of?
didn't get the bug guard on his car until after the murders.
So what difference does that make? Just
Because
like
if you're
what he was
looking
trying
for
to
a white,
hide his car or whatever, change
well,
the
I
look
mean,
of it.
yeah, because it totally changes the front of it. It makes it look like a little, because it's not, it's that plastic piece, and it just makes it look a little sportier, you know?
Yeah, but it still doesn't change the name of the make and model
No,
and whatnot. I mean,
no, I'm not saying it changed anything for me. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. No, I know
but
you aren't. I
yeah,
sort of
but
ignored
everybody's
that.
like, well,
Hmm.
when did he get the bug guard? After the
Yeah,
freaking murders,
because
if you want to bring that up.
like that was like, ooh, that's the
If that
installation
was
of a
your defense,
bug guard breaks the
if that
case.
was your
Okay.
defense for him, you failed.
Yeah. Uh huh.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
after
Walking
the
from room to
murders.
room. Yes. Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm over it because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm so
Mm-hmm.
frustrated. But I know that I will never be in Dago's thing again because I got banned from there tonight.
Oh, um, yeah, I saw you guys had chatted or whatever, and yeah, but I didn't read all that. Yeah, I've
Well,
been, like I said,
no, I
busy
mean they.
doing stuff. So,
I know, and I'm so wrong for it. I'm so wrong for it. But
hmm.
man, they're in there just dogging the G's for not going, not going. And I told them, I said, look, until you bury a child, you do not have the right to
Oh, for
judge.
not driving down there.
Yeah,
I mean, might have been in shock, might have been upset.
and
I mean,
I
well,
said
obviously
that.
we're
I said,
upset, but
have denial could have set in.
maybe they
You
just were
know,
like, oh, let's make some calls. Try and see
and
before
here's
we
the
just
thing
rush
about
off.
it: the
Plus, they
Laramies,
knew
the
Maddie's
Laramies,
mom was on her way.
yeah, the Laramies were already en route.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let's sit here and make calls. The Laramies are on
Mm-hmm.
their way. They're going to
They're
bring the
doing one
girls
thing and the
home.
Laramies were doing another.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, exactly. As far as anybody knew, it was Xana.
Mm-hmm.
So the Laramies are going to get Kaylee and Maddie, and I mean, it doesn't matter. Nobody has the right to judge
Mm-hmm.
what anybody would do in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, and it just frustrated me. So I called them some judgmental F's, and I left.
Oh, I gotcha. Oh, PKC said Pro Burgers are saying it can't be his car because his car has the bug guard. Yes, a brand
Yes,
new bug guard. That's
yes,
so
a brand new.
asinine to me. I'm like,
I can't even handle
that's
it anymore.
that's
But
almost
hey, I
as
was
asinine
on.
as, I don't know, he put a new bumper sticker on his car or whatever. What does
Yeah,
that have to
yeah.
do with the fact that he's still driving a Hyundai Elantra, that's white?
That's what I
Nothing.
said tonight. I said, let me tell you three things to always remember,
Mhm.
and let this sink into your head. Number one, his DNA is on the knife sheath.
Mhm.
Number two, he pled guilty 5 times. Number three, he did not appeal.
Right, and what the third was
Yeah, the third,
the deadline.
the DNA took a plea deal, and he didn't appeal.
No, I mean third isn't September 3rd. September 3rd, like
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah,
technically,
yeah.
or whatever was his
But
deadline for his last day
if
for
you don't,
appeal
if you
notification.
can't just go by those three things that says I'm guilty,
Mhm.
when they, what's the excuse for no appeal? Have you heard?
No,
It
I
it
haven't
wasn't
been
it
tuned
wasn't the
in
right
to.
time.
Well, when's going to be the right time when he sits in prison a few more years and then is
Yeah,
just like,
because
"Oh,
then
I think
after he's
now, you know."
yeah, if he sits for a little bit, then the Innocence Project will pick it up, or somebody like that. The Innocence Project cannot pick this up. He pled guilty 5 times.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
waived his rights.
Mhm.
Nobody coerced him. I mean, the judge asked every question possible to make sure. Anyway, I'm on my way to San Antonio. I got six kennels from Austin today,
Oh, okay. Mhm.
and I'm headed to San Antonio. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting these 5 stars that are on like 38 acres and 14 acres. Hell, they got
Mhm.
plenty of land, girl. And man, they
Oh.
get their own private chefs and everything. I was like, man, if your
Oh,
people
that's
can afford
nice.
private chefs and swimming pools, let their doggies have a kennel.
Yeah, Kelly says no. This guy is something special.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
something
definitely is
special,
in a
all
different
right.
class. Mhm.
I mean, and he really is. He really is. I mean, I do think that he is a different breed of killer. I
Yeah, he
don't think
definitely set
he's,
out to be.
yeah, I don't think he's a Ted Bundy. I don't think he's, I think, straight up psychopath, yes. But I think he is a different breed as far as the intelligence level. And look, you've heard me say a million times, I think, if you rank, if you rank serial killers,
Mhm.
but my ranking for serial killer is Keys.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, come on now, you got to admit that man did some planning, and he took some dang. I mean, the way that he did it, he didn't even choose his victims. The locations chose the victims, because he would bury a bucket 2 years before he would go back there,
Mhm.
you know. And so he went back to that area for the bucket and then just chose random victims, you know. And that's how he got away with it so much, is because it was so random, you know. And plus, I mean, there was no way to track it because, I mean, like I said, he'd bury a bucket and not ever go back there for another 2 years. How can you tie him to the area?
Yeah. No, this is definitely smart.
But I don't go around ranking serial killers, but as
I
far
mean,
as
technically, he's
smarts,
not a serial killer though. But yeah, unless he's got
well,
other
technically, no.
murders or whatever,
Hey,
but
I
that we
hate
don't
to
know
tell
about.
him, I'm gonna send him a letter. It says, I'm sorry that you got plucked before you made it to serial killer.
Yeah, PKC. Yeah, he's being a copycat. That's what I
You,
was thinking too
that's what I was going. Have you
when
ever
I
seen the
said
movie
hybrid killer.
Copycat?
Yeah, I just had Firefly watch it a few months ago with me because she
I
had never
thought
seen
about
it.
seeing if Gage would watch it with all of us at the fire
Mhm.
pit.
Because it's so good, and
Well, it is so
honestly,
similar to what Koberger, I think, could have been going for.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I told her, I was like, "Oh, you need to watch this," because it's like I couldn't quite, describe it. So I was
Right.
like, "Here, watch this movie, and then you'll
I
see what
think
I'm
it is.
seeing
I
in this
think it's
guy."
one of the best. I think it's one of the best I've ever seen.
Hmm.
And I was going to see if Gage would let us all watch it like one night at the fire pit because I really do.
You could watch
And
it
you
in your
know,
Discord.
oh yeah, I do have a Discord, don't I?
Yeah.
Let's see. We're live. Oh, boy. You better tell me to shut up. I forget sometimes that we're not talking on the phone.
Yeah, just yeah. You tell me later. Oh yeah, you say if you kill more than one person, you're a serial killer. I think that's like
Ooh,
I'm looking at the comment.
oh,
Um, but a serial killer, it has to be more than one person, but like in a separate event. You know what I mean? It's like, you murdered somebody one
yeah, but
month, the next week, whatever. You keep doing it. That's what makes it a serial killer. He's
yeah, you have to have a
like a
cool off
mass
period.
killer,
Yeah, you have to have a cool
because
off period.
mm-hmm. Yes, yes, a cooling off period. Exactly. So he's a mass
And I think
murderer.
it's
Hi,
more than
Chris.
three, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone ever look at the guy's history or background?
Oh
Oh,
God, yes. Kelly, I could totally tell you everything about this man's history later. Yeah, we've dug so far into this guy. People have his baby pictures and, like some of everything.
Kelly, he
Yes.
has every ism there is, and there is no good ism. He's he studied Darwinism, libertarianism, Nietzscheism. Um, and there's that Nietzsche. There's a word after that Nietzsche that's a really funny word. And I mean, he was into all that. To me, it's women hating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Darwinism was, and libertarianism and stuff like that. I mean, hell, come on, Jeff McAfee ran for president as a libertarian.
Well, he did believe that, women should be, at home and in the kitchen and whatnot,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
and I
everything.
believe he was trying to be a dominant too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so I don't know, but okay, well, how about okay, I'll send you a message and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Outside watering would be live, so I didn't bring my glasses out. Well, honey, we ain't gonna be live long because this girl's fixing to curl up in my front seat because my dog's just taking up the back seat.
I don't a psych workup as far as like for the trial, yes. Like they're experts and whatnot. So they did,
Okay, since you're the
yeah.
expert, I have a question.
Who, me?
Yes.
I
Did
just been
they
looking
ever
into the
prove
guy
the
for a while.
AS? Is the ASD proven?
So here's the thing. Supposedly, yes, right? But have you looked at the new docs that they unsealed in that first
Yes,
batch?
yes,
So,
yes.
right, Firefly and I were looking at that right before, we got on your, before I got on your live and everything. In the guilty plea advisory document
Yes,
or whatever, it's
yes.
on there, but the diagnosis is on there from February 2025, meaning that it's one of, the defense experts, evaluated him and, we remember who it was and all that, right?
Right.
So, but in this book, which was it? Was it Blum's book? I think it was Blum's book. They said, remember, when he was kept breaking into the Saba's home
Yes,
and Jeremy Saba's mother found him that one last time, like, he was
yes.
in the house already, surprised her in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
he stole. Yeah, he stole the tablet.
Right. And she, in the book, it says at the end of that chapter, it says that she had thought about telling his parents, but the Coburgers had already had enough rough times and whatnot. So she decided not to tell his parents about all the thefts or whatever. And then she said because Marianne Coburger was a lot like her. I think they were both school teachers, and
Right.
she had sometimes shared things about, the difficulties with Brian with her, and she mentioned his autism diagnosis, you know, and that. So I was like, so wait a minute. So he was diagnosed a while ago, you
Then
know?
shouldn't somebody be able to produce that?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if they just had to have him, or the defense, like Ann Taylor, wanted to have him reevaluate it, before the trial or whatever. But I was like, so wait a minute, because his mother was a special education teacher too. So it's like, she would have noticed signs, especially
Well,
if he
hell,
had like level one, you
both of the
know,
sisters, they
and
they specialized in it too.
yeah, but I'm just saying when he was a younger kid and before they
Yeah.
even went into
Okay.
any
Well,
kind of
Chris,
specialties.
Chris
Hmm.
says, where did he go wrong? Was he an asshole as a child?
Apparently. I mean, like the short version of it is that he
Yes.
was overweight and bullied, and then he lost the weight and then became a bully.
Okay. Number one, the girls say that he was not being bullied, that he did not respect the boundaries that they had set, but when they said something to him or tried to retaliate against him not respecting their boundaries,
Hmm.
then he yelled bullying.
Hmm. Who said that?
Huh? Oh, I was supposed to send you that.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you that receipt.
I just because I was like, I don't remember because like all the different, his friends, friends from Pennsylvania that
Yeah.
came out and did interviews, they all had things to say about him or
Well, see,
whatever.
they talked about the cheerleaders throwing things at him.
Right.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was two of the cheerleaders that did an interview, and they admitted they threw it at him, but
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about that they had set boundaries with him and
Mm-hmm.
that he would not respect their boundaries.
Right.
And
Which,
I can see
yeah,
that
that he never did learn that lesson apparently, judging by those WSU interviews.
in able channels. It has took me off YouTube. Shoot, I was
What?
having trouble with it. I don't know if it's my connection where I'm sitting or yeah, it says to continue with the chat. Shoot,
Oh,
let me
you're
see
still
what's
on
going on.
here.
Yeah, I'm still on, but it just now came up and told me I couldn't continue with the chat unless I connected to YouTube. But then it went away. I'm not sitting in I'm sitting in like the middle of nowhere in Texas. I mean,
Oh.
it takes 3 days to get the Wi-Fi to come through.
Let's see if these guys can still hear us. Okay.
We're probably sitting up here
Chris
entertaining
said
ourselves.
test. Just waiting
Oh,
for a yes or a
uh-oh.
no as to whether or not they can still hear us.
Test one, two. Test one,
Because
two.
I'm typing in chat.
Right.
I don't understand what
Yeah, it came up and said that we weren't doing it. See.
oh, it says I'm in the show.
Yeah,
I've
it
got
says I am
another.
too, but I
Oh,
think.
Chris says he can hear us. Can you see
Oh, okay.
us? Um,
Only in my
okay.
chats, only in my lives would you be going, can you hear us? Can you see us?
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah, they can see us. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what you mean about autism for murder and a bunch of question marks.
Oh,
Yeah, Kelly a few minutes ago said, wait, autism for murder and a bunch of question marks.
now see, I was reading a comment about a year, reading comments in a Facebook thing about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody made a comment and they said blank autism. And it was a special kind of autism.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught my eye so much that I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I've got like, oh God, probably 1,000 pages of, where you scribble when you find something, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go through it one day. because I've looked and looked and I can't find anything, but it's like an autism that is like, I'm not going to say voyeur or anything like that, but it's something weird.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I definitely
Yeah,
would
and
have
so
to
I'm
see
gonna
that.
go through my papers because I look. This is how I remember how vivid I remember it. Is it is written on the left side where the holes are, where it goes in the notebook.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how vivid I remember writing it. I've just got to
Oh.
find the piece of paper. But she was like, "Well, it sounds like he's got blank autism," and I'm like, and that was the first time about a year ago. And I mean, I knew that people had been talking about the autism spectrum and stuff like that for him. I don't know. I don't.
I mean,
I hate
I
to.
know they don't
I
call
hate
it
to.
Asperger's anymore, but I called that a long, long time
I hate
ago
to give him
that
that
that's what he
out.
had, you know?
I hate to give him that out, and that's what people do with it. Is
But
they
it's
give him
not
an
an out,
out.
though. One thing doesn't have anything to do with the murders like the other, which
Yeah,
is the
because I would
murders,
be
you know?
offended if I had autism. If you're going to say autism caused him to murder folks,
No, but I mean,
I
you
would be
know,
offended.
no one with any common sense would say that autism, led somebody to be a murderer,
Kelly's like, I'm
you know?
curious. Yeah, Kelly, I'm curious too.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I write so many notes. So, fortunately, I brought every one of them with me. So, one night when I'm sitting here, I'm going to go through every one of those pages and I'm going to find it. But it is a different kind of autism that I can already see it
I
now.
mean,
I'm
there
going to
are
be sitting.
different levels. So, and if they're
Yeah, I know there's
renaming,
four. I
you
know there's
know,
four levels.
different things, then yeah, like they say they no longer use Asperger's. Well, a lot of people don't realize that. So if you're just talking about level 1, then I'll just say that to people. Actually, so I'm a gamer, right? Well, I told you
Yeah,
I think before, one of the no, two guys in my guild are level 1. And so one guy actually has a mage, a character that he names Aspie, and that's what he goes by in the game. So
right.
he has Asperger's, and that's what
Well,
he, like,
there
identifies
is.
as or whatever. So yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the show where it's an interview with the guy that has Asperger's, and he's being accused of killing his mother. She drowned off the boat,
No, that one
and
doesn't
then
sound
come to
familiar.
okay,
Mhm.
well, what it was they were going out fishing, and for some reason he drilled a hole in the boat and to replace something or something like that. Well, anyway, that hole is how the boat sank.
Okay.
And she drowned. But when you listen to him talk, it's so flat, so monotone. And it's like he doesn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's how I learned about Asperger's was watching him because I was like, wow, what's wrong with this guy? Well,
Mhm.
then they start talking about that he was the suspect of killing the grandfather. You know, and now I'll have to look that case up and send it to you because it is
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting. I was going to say something.
Yeah,
I just got
it's gonna be.
distracted.
If you want to look it up, just look up the Asperger guy that drowned his mother
Okay. That'll come
on a
up through
fishing trip.
Google.
On a fishing trip.
Okay.
And is Kelly saying, "Yup," that she knows the case, or
He.
oh, Kelly, he, oh, hey,
Mhm.
he, Kelly. Okay, his name is he, Kelly now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got distracted. There was something I was going to say, and I totally have
I'm
forgotten
a
what it
Kelly
was.
too.
Oh well, I guess I'll remember it in a minute
Well,
or
there's our
later.
little notification again about YouTube.
What's it saying?
It's saying that if I want to connect in the chat, that I have to connect to YouTube. I think my service is just really bad, but I'm gonna have to get off here anyway. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I've
Okay.
got to make myself go to sleep. I got to start driving all the way down to San Antonio.
Okay.
So If I can't sleep, are you gonna be up?
Yeah, I've got some paperwork that I was
But I
trying
am
to
gonna message
finish.
you.
Hmm.
His name was Nathan. Kelly knows it.
Oh, okay.
Ke-
Nathan Carmen.
get Kelly to tell you about that case. Yeah, it's a good case.
Oh, I will. We were probably going to go back to our conversation after the live stream because we were in Discord talking.
Okay, well, thank y'all so much because when I saw that, I was like, ooh, me and Dolphins go, what's that?
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm really looking forward to the documents being unsealed because I saw the judge has like the next group, like the next batch of like what
I like
43
the way he's
documents.
doing it.
I do too. And what is it? Oh, there's something about the AT&T timing advance records are in that next batch, but it's the third one that's going to be really meaty because it's going to
Oh, I
contain
guess
all
that's
of
when.
those motions in limine.
Wait, wait.
Hmm.
The documents are getting unsealed.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you earlier. Did you see the
Wait a minute.
documents on the
I still
website?
hear it. I still hear silence though.
Hmm.
Because they said that Cyree was still under the gag order until the documents got unsealed. But wait, I still hear silence.
Cyray is in the wind. I don't think you're
In
going to
the
hear
wind, honey,
anything
let me
from
tell you,
Cyray.
and can't
Hmm.
even catch him.
Yeah.
I
And the
mean,
Barnharts, the Celebrate experts, they keep
yeah,
giving interviews. I saw, I think, was it a little small
yeah.
clip with them, and was it on Nancy Grace? But I want to go
I'm
back and
sort
watch
of
her
kind of
whole interview.
I'm kind of disappointed in them.
Uh, I am, but it's because of I don't know what they've said recently, but my disappointment is coming from the way that they
The
explained that whole
first
situation with
interview,
the Mad Greek. Hmm.
right, right. I mean, I think they made prosecution look bad just
Yeah,
because they didn't
well,
explain it correctly.
right, right.
If they had took the time to explain it correctly. And that's the thing about it though, is even if you explain it correctly, do people really listen?
Mm, yeah, not most people don't listen, so yeah.
But y'all go back to your conversation. I really do
Okay,
appreciate you, but I am gonna message you.
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be up
I
because, like
love
I said,
y'all.
I'm typing some documents and everything. So yeah, I'll be up because I've got to get this stuff done. In the
Yeah,
morning. Like,
we leave with a song, so I'm gonna pick a song. Where am I
alrighty, then
going?
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank y'all.